from Painesville, Painesville. So, how many of you have ever had one of those super embarrassing childhood memories? And so, when I was a lot younger, me and a bunch of my friends were on this kids ministry trip, right? And the hotel that we were staying at had a pool. So we were all super hype about this. We were super excited, and I loved to swim. Like, I had no fear of the water. But what I was scared of is I was scared to jump into it. And so I decided that this trip was going to be the trip that I jumped into the pool. So I get to the edge of the pool, right? I get in that ready position. I'm ready. I close my eyes, take a deep breath, and I realize nothing's happening. I'm just standing on the edge of the pool. I'm left on the edge. What I didn't realize, though, is that my friend was actually behind me, and he ended up pushing me in. And I was never scared from that day on to jump in the pool. But why am I telling you this today? I'm telling you this because fear can hold us back. And fear can hold us back from what God has promised us. How many of you remember the story of the Israelites trying to enter the promised land the first time? What was it that held them back? It was fear. More specifically, the fear of the spies' report. Numbers 13:28 says, "We went into the land to which you sent us. It does flow with milk and honey. Here's the fruit. But the people who live there are powerful, and the cities are fortified and very large. We even saw the descendants of Anak there." You know what's interesting about this report? The spies didn't have a problem with what God said the land would be. They had a problem with what he left out. God, you didn't tell us there was going to be giants in the land. I got to tell you, God had a different takeaway than the spies did. You see, God didn't tell them about the giants because he wasn't worried about them. Instead, his focus was on the fruit. And you see, when our focus doesn't align with God's, that's when we find ourselves in trouble. And this is what causes the Israelites to be left on the edge. But here's the hope today. You see, if we fast forward through many years in the wilderness, and we see this generation of Israelites gone, and we see that a new leader has come, Joshua, they are presented with a second opportunity. And I believe that some of you today are presented with another opportunity. And this time, it's time to say yes. And this is what they do. And here are some guarantees that the Bible gives us when we decide to step off that edge. The first one is this: God never leads us to a place that he hasn't already been. Deuteronomy 9:3 says this: "Today know this, God, your God, is crossing the river ahead of you. He is a consuming fire. He will destroy the nations and he will put them under your power. You will dispose of them and very quickly wipe them out, just as God promised you would." This is so powerful, right? So why do we act like this is God's first time? Because it's not. Fine Arts 2021, I'm here to tell you that what is unknown to us is known to him. This ain't God's first time. He's been there before. Secondly, today, the Bible describes God as our rear guard. Isaiah 52:12 says, "For the Lord will go before you. The God of Israel will be your rear guard." So not only does God go in before us, but he also has our back. Your most vulnerable spot in the battle becomes your most protected. And this is what God does for everyone who enters the battle for what he has promised. So today, if you're struggling to jump into what God has called you to or that promise, remember to focus on the fruit and those guarantees that he gives us so you don't find yourself left on the edge.